And now we're going to take a look at the composition and the layer in After Effects. So basically a composition is a container which contains the layers, and no matter what kind of layer, it can be a footage or it can be an image or whatever you can import in After Effects basically. So you can create a new composition by going to the menu and hit the new composition, or just you can right click on the project panel and select a new composition. And there is also a third way. You can just click this little icon here called the create new composition and do it by that. There are several ways to do that. So in this composition you might find some settings, and it's very basics actually. The presets tab can give you some presets of a normal SD 720 by 480 or an SD TV settings, or maybe you can find some widescreen settings and actually whatever type of composition, the resolution and size of you want. So, and you can also adjust the frames per second here, and also check out presets for frame per seconds. And basically you don't want to mess with these resolution settings here, because we always want it to be full, I guess. And you can also increase and decrease the duration. Let's say if you want to make a 30 seconds animation, then the composition will be 30 seconds long as the default settings. You can increase it if you want to make it 60 seconds or say longer than that. So that's it for the settings. You don't need to get into the advanced right now, and you can just hit OK. We'll create a new composition, and now in this composition you can create some new layers and import the files. For example, here we'll import a file of a motion graph. You can simply drag your file into this composition panel here, and you will be able to access now. So what does the composition do actually? Let's say if you want to edit this render or a footage or image, whatever you have here in your project panel, you cannot edit it without importing it into a composition. For example, I just can watch this file here, nothing else, and in the composition panel I can add some effects or some other layers here. For example, I can create a new layer here in this composition, and what layer does is layer allows us to add some effects in it, and then we can apply that on over the other layers. So there are several types of the layers called the text, solid, light, camera, null, shape layers. We'll take a look on them a little bit later. For right now I'm just gonna create a new solid. Just like the composition setting, there also contains some settings, and basically it used to be just resolution and color. So now I can apply effect on it. I can go into the effects, generate, and I'll just generate a basic lens flare here, as you can see. And now we have two layers, render layer above and black solid above and render layer below it. As you can see, because of these solid layers here, we are not able to watch the render layer. So I can just simply place it below the render layer by just clicking and dragging it, and now you can see the render layer is above and we are not able to see the black solid layer. So basically that's the hierarchy of the composition panel. The top layer will not allow the which layer is below that to actually come up, and you can simply just click this eye icon here to hide that layer and can watch what is below it. And if your editing is completed with a layer, you can simply lock that layer from here so that you won't be able to edit any further that layer, and click again to unlock that. And if you wanna change your composition setting a little bit later, you can just go ahead and click on that composition and go to the composition and composition setting. You can again change the settings here. And another thing I want to say, maybe I want to talk about the modes here. In every layer you can find some modes, a huge menu here, but nothing hard actually. If you have access to the Photoshop before, then it is the same as the blending modes in the Photoshop, and we're gonna take a look on that modes in the next tutorial. That's it for it. See you in the next tutorial.